Can you hear me? Yeah, okay. Thank you. All right, so before we move on, first I need to do a quick recap. So we started circle geometry. And the first thing I told you need to know, there were 3 formulas that you have to know. So the first one was Pythagoras' theorem. So that's when you're given a right angle triangle. The longest line on a triangle, the longest line between 2 points on a triangle, that's known as the hypotenuse. We call this A, and then we call the base B. And Pythagoras' theorem, this is just a review. Pythagoras' theorem states that the hypotenuse squared is equal to A squared plus B squared. If they are giving me values for these sides, so say this was 9, this was 5, and this was 9 and this was 5, and they wanted me to find B, the base, I would put 9 squared is equal to 5 squared plus B squared. And all I have to do is find for B. So 9 squared is 81 is equal to 25 plus B squared. So that means that B squared is equal to 56. On B, remember in a previous session, I told you square root. You find plus or minus the square root of a number unless told otherwise. This is one of the cases. So 56 is equal to B. You can't have negative or length. So this is one of the cases where the square root would always be a positive number. And I could just leave it as B is equal to the square root of 56. Right? That was just a quick recap. The next one I talked about was how to find the distance between 2 points. So say this is my line. 1 point here has the coordinates x1, y1. This point has the coordinate x2, y2. We said last time that the formula to find the distance between 2 points, aka the length of this line, so I'll just name it D. Oh, that's a D. Is the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Right? And the last one we learned was midpoint. So let me try this line again. I shouldn't have played that. Anyways, same line. Add a point, x2, y2. And they want me to find the midpoint. The midpoint would be the point that's at the center of this line. So this length here and this length here would be equal. This is known as my midpoint. And we said the formula to find the midpoint, so I'll just put mid is equal to x1 plus x2. So looking at my coordinates, it would be x1 plus x2 divided by 2, comma, y1 plus y2 divided by 2. This here, whatever value I get. So say x1 was 5 and x2 was, actually no, erase. Hold on. Say x1 was 2 and x2 was 5 and 2. 5 plus 2 is 7. So my x coordinate for the midpoint would be 7 and 2. And my y coordinate, say, was y1 was 1 and y2 was 8 and 2. My coordinates for my y coordinate for the midpoint would be 9 on 2. So this would have been my answer. Okay. Can any one of you tell me, wait, hold on. You remember everything I just went through? You remember that from last class? You don't have to talk on the mic. Please type in chat. Yes, no.
Excuse me, can you repeat the question, please? You're a bit low on my end.
Okay, hold on. I went only 1 and 3. Okay. Well, you understand the second one though? My question was, I just did 3 of them, 3 formulas that we learned last class. And I was asking if you remember them.
Oh, I wasn't here last classes.
Okay. But you understand what I just did though? Kind of.
Yes, miss.
Okay. This one, the second one, D, to find the distance between 2 points or the length of a line. Let me do it again. This is my line. This is 1 point on my line with the coordinates. Let me actually do one now. So this is 4 and this is 1. And this coordinates is 10 and 8. So this is just a formula you have to memorize to find the distance between 2 points. So this whole length here, the distance between 2 points is also known, would also give me the length of this line. So I'll name this D. Formula that you have to memorize. This is just something you have to memorize. X2 is x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Right. So say my x2, this is x1, this is y1, this is x2, this is y2. X2 is 10. 10 minus x1 is 4 squared plus y2 is 8 minus y1, we said y1 is 1 squared. So that's the square root of 10 minus 4 is 6, so that's 6 squared plus 8 minus 1 is 7 squared. So the distance of this line, also known as the distance between these 2 points, would be the square root of 36 plus 49, which is equal to the square root of 85. You understand that?
Yes, miss.
Right. Just a note here, these are interchangeable. So if you wanted, you could put these equal to the square root of x1 minus x2 squared plus y1 minus y2 squared. Doesn't matter, you get the same thing. Okay. Can any of you tell me, oh wait, you won't say, okay, never mind, let me just. So we went through what the standard form is, and we said that this is the standard form that you see in your past papers. So this is the one that we learned in brackets, x plus h squared plus y plus k squared is equal to r squared. And we said when given this formula, So let me go back to that one. See, this is my circle. This is my center. And the equation of the circle is in the form x plus h squared plus y plus k squared is equal to r squared. This is known as the standard form. This is known as the, write it in different color. Not that color. Standard form. We said when given this equation, this specific one, the center has the coordinates minus h minus k, and this would be our radius. So the radius is the distance from the center to the circumference of the circle. So this would be my radius r. And then we did some questions. I'm not. Let me just do 1, 2, 3. So we did questions like these last class. Say they gave me the center of the circle is 2, 3, and they told me that the radius is equal to 4. And they want me to write it in the standard form. Standard form is x plus h squared plus, oh my gosh, plus y plus k squared is equal to r squared. We said from last class, when given questions like these, the first thing you want to do is identify h and, oh, that's an answer now. Okay. Let me just draw the circle real quick. I told you could do a sketch if you want to. They wouldn't penalize you for that. So that's my center. Remember the coordinates. They gave you the coordinates 2, 3, 2, 3. And they told you that the radius, let me do that in blue. The radius is 4. Remember, the coordinates of the center is in the form minus h, comma, minus k. But if you look at this first step, they said h, that they want h and k to identify h and k, not minus h and minus k. So this is what you do. Looking at the center, let me just write it again. All this we did last class, yeah? So looking at the center, we said the center is in the form minus h minus k. That means that minus h would be equal to 2. Minus h is equal to 2. But we don't want minus h. This step says to identify h, not minus h. So if minus h is equal to 2, what would be the value of h?
-2.
-2. Same for k. If I did the same thing with k minus k would be equal to 3. Minus k is equal to 3. Therefore, what's the value of k?
3. -3, sorry.
-3. Good job. Right, so that's the first step. Identify h and k. The aim is to write it in this format, standard form. So we found out that h is equal to, what was it? -2, and k is equal to -3. The next step you want to do is to identify r. They already told us that r is equal to 4. So we just have to write down r is equal to 4. And the third and final step is to write it in this form. So standard form, x plus h squared plus y plus k squared is equal to r squared. So this is what I do here. Put back my bracket. X. H is -2, so I'll put -2 here. Squared plus in brackets y, put back the y. K is -3, so put -3 squared is equal to r squared, radius squared. R is 4, so that's 4 squared. That's why my final answer would be x -2 squared plus y -3 squared is equal to 16. That's if they wanted me to write it in the standard form. You understand that?
Yes,
Both of
miss.
you? All right. Okay, wait, hold on. I have one more to do with you. They could also give you the standard form. So say they gave you the standard form of the equation. So x plus 4 squared plus y plus 1 squared is equal to 16. And what they want you to find now, they want you to find the center. Center is equal to, let me just put question mark, and the radius, so I'll just put r is equal to question mark. So they want you to find the center and the radius this time, and they gave you the standard form. So to identify the center, remember, first thing you want to do, write down the standard form. So x plus h squared plus y plus k squared is equal to r squared. If I compare the standard form to this that they gave me, the standard form of this particular circle, we could deduce that h would be equal to 4. H is equal to 4. K would be equal to 1. K is equal to 1. And r squared is 16. R squared is equal to 16. But what I need you to remember, the circle point, the coordinates of the center is -h minus k. What does that mean? If we want the center, we want -h and -k. But right now we have h and we have k. So can any one of you tell me what's the value of -h then? If h is equal to 4, what's the value of -h? -4. Good job. And what's the value of -k? -1. Good job. If r squared is equal to 16, they want r, the radius, r by itself. If r squared is equal to 16, that means that r would be equal to the square root of 16. Yeah, 4. Good job. Remember, not plus or minus. Why? You can't have minus a length. That doesn't make sense. I can't give you a piece of ribbon and tell you this is -4 meters long. That doesn't make sense. So it's just 4. Right. That's the end of that recap. Time to move on. Both of you understand what I just did, right?
Yes, miss.
If you don't, let me know. Huh? Oh, let me just go back to this slide. And back. Okay, now me. Okay. There are two forms they might ask you to write the equation of the circle in. The first one, we just did the standard form, and now there's another form of the equation of a circle. It's known as the general form. So there's standard form and there's general form. They could ask you to write both of them. So the general form is just the expanded form of the, okay, let me not say that. To get the general form, all you have to do is to expand the standard form. So let me go to the standard form. One of you tell me what's the standard form?
x plus a squared
Continue.
plus y plus bracket y plus k bracket squared equals r squared.
Equals r squared. Good job. Okay, leave now and rejoin because we have a little over a minute left. So it wouldn't make sense me trying to explain it now. So I'm going to end the meeting and rejoin.